I can't believe I'm about to say this. My time is valuable, just as your time is valuable. That's why I am no longer interested in my business taking up every single second of my day. I have gone through the process of creating a very strong boundary where my evenings and weekends are no longer touched by any work. Work? Who dat? I don't know when it's on the weekends or in the evenings. In this video, I actually want to share a little bit more about why I have made this non-negotiable boundary, how I made that non-negotiable boundary, and how you can go through the process of getting away from that time-sucking thing that your business can become, so that way you can actually enjoy the time that you're working in your business as opposed to feeling full of resentment. Today we are still drinking the blue slush from the video that I just literally recorded. Insert in the crack-a-loo. Cheers. We're gonna take another drink of this blue slush, which, by the way, I didn't mention in the other video. I do have to agree with some of the people that have said that this definitely tastes a little bit more sour, because it definitely does. Like, it reminds me of like a blue raspberry like slush from an actual slushie machine, which, you know, would make sense because it's called blue slush. The more you know. Hey cuties, my name is Ashley. I am the CEO of a multiple 7-figure company. I do that during the day, and in the evening you will definitely see me cuddling and running around with my little kid and most likely reading a book on my Kindle. Right now, I'm actually reading the Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins, which has been a very interesting read. More to come when I do a book recap, but we're working on trying to get this done today, because it's, what is today? The 31st. And so God gave me an additional day of this month to finish that book, wrap it up, put a bow on top, so that way I have one more to add to my March roundup that I'll eventually do. Let's talk about what I believe is the biggest lie of entrepreneurship, or at least one of the biggest lies when it comes to entrepreneurship, which is the more you work, the longer you work, the more money you make. I used to believe this to my core, to the point where I was working from the moment I woke up to the moment I went to bed. I did not have a consistent sleep schedule. I was constantly running in the rat race. I was constantly multitasking. I was having the baby on the hip and doing the work. I was cooking dinner and answering Facebook DMs. Your girl was a mess, okay? Like, just picture brain on fire. It was not good. Okay, it was just not great. The biggest thing that I would tell myself is that it's just for right now. It's just this season. It's just this winter, and then this summer will be better. Insert in whatever excuse. And the thing is that after 4 years of doing the same exact thing, telling myself the same exact lie that it was just this season or just for this month, I realized that it was never just gonna be for anything, and that just was getting in the way. It was just allowing for me to justify why I was making that choice. Looking back, I recognize and understand why I made that choice, why I chose to work long hours, why I chose to work the weekends, why my evenings, I would stay up until midnight working on things. It was because I had a little guy at home. My kiddo needed my attention more so during the day than in the evenings. And now that he's in school, that has swapped, where I have the actual days now, which has been such a blessing to be able to get my work done, so that way now my evenings can be free. Of course, depending on your family situation, depending on, as me as a single mom, like, there was nobody else to take him on. It was just me, myself, and I. For you, you may be in a similar situation where you're just like, well, my husband works, 1 hour weeks on, 1 hour weeks off. 1 hour weeks? What kind of job would have that? You know what I'm trying to say, though. Life be cray, schedules be different. I don't know what your co-parenting plan is. I don't know what your arrangement is with your partner, whatever it may be. Whatever that may look like, everyone's experiences are different. This is just my experience, is what I'm trying to get at, right? And it can be customized to you. And so that's the first thing that I want to offer you, is that within this gets to be your way. And I think this is something we often forget, is that we feel like, well, I have to do it my client's way. My client wants me to work at 8 p.m. I'm like, absolutely not. You set that boundary straight up. Don't be fiddling around. I don't got time to learn the fiddle when I'm going through the process of building a funnel. You build the funnel on your time, not your client's time. They can work whenever they want to work, just as you get to work whatever you want to work, because you set the boundary and you're the entrepreneur, okay? Now let's actually get into what I was going to talk about. I wrote this down and I want to make sure that I actually read this exactly as I wrote it so I don't butcher it. So the very first point is, my presence as a mom matters more than my productivity as an entrepreneur. Here's the thing. Nobody else is mom to my son. I am mom. When it comes to client work, teamwork, and everything like that, I'm doing marketing. I'm not saving lives. I'm not saving babies. I'm not providing any natural resources. I'm not doing anything, honestly, that important. Now, of course, do I understand that, yes, like the work that I do supports other people's livelihood, that allows for them to put food on the table? 100%, yes. However, when it comes to when I edit the email or write the email or schedule the post or don't schedule the post, those things, whether that variable is within an hour or 12 hours or actually during my working hours or versus not, that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. As long as the thing is done by the due date, that is what matters. The reason why I protect my time so much is because being a mom matters so much more to me than being an entrepreneur. If I had a choice, I would choose being a mom over an entrepreneur any day. Any day. Absolutely any day. I value my relationship with my son more than I value my relationship with anybody else in this world. Oftentimes, I know that can come off as a little like, oh, okay. But truly, I have said, even here on this channel and in multiple podcast interviews over the many years I've done shows, is that I became an entrepreneur to be a good mom. And I believe that for me, in my path, I did this for him. And so me having these boundaries is for me to be able to stick to that and the words and things that I say, right? This is me putting my money where my mouth is, essentially. A couple things that I do to protect my time. First and foremost, I have all my notifications snoozed. Like, I don't know. I'm like looking for my phone. I'm recording with my phone. You silly goose. If I could pull up my phone, you'd see I have like everything goes to the notification thing. And the thing is that not everything even makes it to my homepage. Only the most important things go to my homepage. Everything else just goes into the notification center or is completely turned off. And for me, the reason why that's so important is because I work in my own space, right? Like I have designed my environment to be zero urgency. If you need me, you will text me. And only literally 5 people have my actual number. Everybody else just goes right into the snooze zone. And I'll be like, when I'm ready to look at it, when I decide I'm gonna go into WhatsApp, I will see it. Otherwise, I don't need to see it. Like, we be good, right? Unless we're talking about sourdough, my sourdough notifications come through. My Bible study group notifications come through. Why? Because most of the time they come in at the perfect moment with the perfect reminder for me in that moment, and I'm not getting in the way of God's reminders for me. However, needing to set up something in Stripe, that is not a notification from God. We're gonna pause that. We're gonna move on. Another thing is that I have communicated my availability to my team. And so I, again, as I had shared in my last video, have very consistent boundaries in how I show up for my team, making sure that I show up consistently emotionally, and I always come in with a very regulated nervous system because I don't want to be the person to catch them off guard and be like, oh my gosh, you're going crazy today. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Ashley and crazy do not go together in the work environment. I am just Ashley. That is it. I have very clear boundaries with the availability that I have with my team because of the fact that I want them to also be empowered to share their availability and to stick to that as well too. I also have something as well where I have a 1 hour transition. And in that 1 hour transition every single day, that is my space to literally just be a chill bean. During that hour is when my son comes home. That's when he needs space to just decompress for the day. That allows for me to decompress from the day. After that hour, we both come back together and we both feel ready to essentially be with each other, if that makes sense. Now, could I do that before? Sure. However, because he also needs that as well too, it gives us both a permission slip to just hang out on the couch. He gets his tabby time, I get my Kindle time. You know, sometimes I'll want to fold a load of laundry. Sometimes I'll want to prep something or do something, and that's totally fine. It's that permission slip for that hour to do your thing. And I think that's really important boundary-wise as well too, is that so often we just quickly transition into the next thing and not give ourselves space to go from entrepreneurship into motherhood. And so that's why I think that for any parent, having a little bit of time, whether for us it's an hour, because that just works great for us. But sometimes we only need 15 minutes, and then he's like, Mom, I'm ready to go play bubbles. And I'm like, okay, that's totally okay as well too. This is very much so led based off of you, your child's age, your child's needs, your child things, and what you need as well too as a parent to show up as the best parent for them when you're with them. The second point that I want to move into is that more rest equals more creativity, energy, and business growth. By me specifically, and I'm just gonna say this very bluntly, by me specifically, stop working evenings and weekends, the resentment that I had in the business immediately went away. Immediately, because I had space. I had space to process the things. I had space to be able to work through any conflict. And it was sometimes even just inner conflict of just like, I'm so confused, I'm so frustrated, is my brain not working today, right? It gave me the permission slip to be able to pause and be like, okay, if I want to take a break now, I just was like, okay, it's 2:00. I want to take the next 2 hours to go and be with my Kindle. I could be like, okay, great. You know what? I'm going to change that and I will work 2 hours in the evenings knowing that I'm taking 2 hours now. It's that flexibility. It's that flexibility. And the thing is that even within work emails and social media, again, all notifications off. I don't check my work email more than once or twice a day, unless I'm specifically looking for something or doing a time urgent project and I have to be. Most of the time, like, it's not even pulled up. Like, I have my calendar and I got Spotify. That's pretty much it. That's what I have open all day, every day on my laptop. In Slack, you know, because like Slack be there and like I'm constantly doing things in Slack. But the biggest thing is that you want to have that intentional time carved out for you. And that's why I love that decompression time every single day, because it's my permission slip. It's always blocked off. It's always there. Everybody knows it exists. And that allows for me to be able to just just jive, hang out, be chill. And oftentimes this is where I will find a lot of creativity ideas for videos or for projects that I'm working on. And I'll be like, oh, this is an easy way to do it. And it's because I intentionally took space away to be able to just allow my brain to just cool down. And then lastly, the other thing is just, I truly believe that the business should work for you and not the other way around. Like, you should not work for the business. The business should work for you, especially as somebody who is a full-fledged entrepreneur who's doing the things on their own. It should work for you. And I think it's really important to remember that there's all these strategies, there's all these tactics, there's all these things, you know, specifically when it comes to scheduling, making your schedule and doing this and task lists and dumps and all of that. It doesn't have to be a shiny new thing. Okay. I just used this. This is the notebook. My top G gave this to me last year. This is what I've been using to just literally notate down the tasks. That's what I've been using. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. It doesn't have to be anything out of this world, right? Find the one thing that works for you and just ignore all the rest, right? All the additional productivity tools and all of that just keep you away from what it is that you actually need to get done. And I think also too, when I think about my overarching life, and I think about my weeks and how I schedule things and how I do things and how I really truly protect that time, is because I am so incredibly clear on why I'm doing it. That squishy face, that's why I be doing it. I want to go squish that face, right? I want to go cuddle. I want to go play Legos. I want to go play ball. I want to go play bubbles. For me, when I became very, very clear, it then allowed for me to be able to basically put my business, right? And that's the thing. It's all up here anyways, right? I basically put myself in my place. And I was like, girl, we're not doing this today. And it allowed for me to be able to really just pump the brakes and get really, really massively clear on what I was even spending my time on. Oftentimes, what gets flown into the evening and the weekends are things that probably just wasn't prioritized very well. If you're curious to know on what prioritization looks like for me, how I prioritize my task list, what it looks like to be able to take the never-ending to-do list and essentially put it into an actual plan that you can break down and it feels a lot more easy to accomplish, check out my description. I have something that I've put together. It's a simple, easy little thing, right? Nothing too crazy. It's just a really quick little training with a guide for you to be able to go and implement. I haven't named it as of this current second as I'm recording it, but it fits in so perfectly well because the thing is that you can say you want your evenings and weekends back, but until you actually create a plan that allows for that to happen, and even if it's not this week, let's say this week is just gone, right? It's just too much. There's too much overflowing. How can we create a plan for you for next week so that way your projects do not overcome what it is that you actually came into entrepreneurship for, which if you're like me, is for that little squishy face. Check out the description, I'll have it all in there. And I would just love to know, like, what is a boundary that you have set in your business? What is something that you have done that has allowed for you to be able to save your evenings for yourself, kick off your work weekends, and focus on self-care? Like, I want to know. With that, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope this was supportive for you. I can't wait to hear your thoughts on this video, and I think that's pretty much it. That's a wrap. I love you.